the Sinai Peninsula. The Ministry of Interior also said the remains of the body, thought to be the suicide bomber, were found at the scene of the explosion.
Yes, exactly, Salma. That was one of the attacks that were being carried out since the ouster of Mohammed Morsi on July the 3rd. Another topic we'll be talking about today is the presidential elections, and presidential candidate Hamdeen Sabahi has released his extensive political platform on Monday, addressing a number of issues facing Egypt.
And the Egyptian Supreme Council of Universities decided on Saturday to ban the organization of any political activities in support of presidential candidates on campus. And the decision came as a result of efforts to avoid increasing tensions between the students.
Yes, and a congressional delegation had arrived in Cairo on Monday and Tuesday of this week for a two-day visit in which they met with high-level government officials and discussed bilateral cooperation. And for all these issues to be analyzed and discussed, we have here with us Dr. Hussein Shereba, the strategic planning expert. Hello, Dr. Hussein.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Dr. Hussein. Well, let's just start off first. How do you explain the bombing by the Ansar Beit al-Maqdis? What do you think are the factors that led to the formation of such terrorist mentality?
Well, I think they misplaced the way to Al-Maqdis. Al-Maqdis is not Egypt. So this is number one. Number two, if they are a believer of their own case, which is freedom of Palestine, this is not the way to do it even so. Even with my enemy, I should be very honorable in the way of fighting, not bombing a tourist who is coming to enjoy time, and he is not an enemy at all. The bus driver, he's Egyptian. He didn't do, and he didn't commit anything. He was doing his job. And he opened the door for him as a kind of respect to the other one. And I think if he's looking for the 72 version in heaven, he will see 72 hells in heaven. That he is one of the devils. And Al-Bayt al-Maqdis, definitely, it's a terrorist party created by whatever whom created them. But definitely, as I have been studying Islam through the leaders of Muslims, like Sheikh Abd Halim Mahmoud, like my father, Dr. Nuruddin Shuraiba, which he was the director of the Islamic Foundation in New York, in Washington, in Austria, and in Tanzania. And he taught us that the respect to your religion is respect to the other people, whatever their belief is.
Yes, Dr. Hussein, is there anything that the government or the Ministry of Interior can do to be stopping such threats and attacks?
Well, they have done, but believe it or not, terrorist actions can happen even in the United States, can happen even in China, can happen even in Russia, because the people who have committed this are either they lost their brain or they lost their will. So both of them, they are two dangerous things.
Yes.
And the Ministry of Interior is doing an excellent job up to this moment. So we should not blame him or blame even the one who is in charge in Taba, because they have made the maximum security to do it. But definitely the mistake, it's not their own mistake.
Yes.
This is for sure.
Well, let's move on, Dr. Hussein. Maybe now we'll leave terrorism and move to the presidential candidacy, where it still remains a controversial issue, and Hamdeen Sabahi is joining the race. And he's the founder of Tayar al-Shabi and presented his platform based on 3 pillars, which are, of course, freedom and social justice and dignity preserved by the national independence. And this is the second time Sabahi is actually joining the presidential race. How is this time, do you think, different from the previous one?
Well, I'm happy that he is participating. But let's have one signal. The Egyptian people, they will give him anything? The Egyptian people will not give anyone their votings unless They are recognizing he have a plan, he have a study, he is very well knowledgeable to the old situation in Egypt and out of Egypt. That's number one. He will, if he's gonna provide the maximum safety and security ways.
Yes.
If he's going to have this and he is going to help the young generation, he have an idea. So Sabahi, he just said words. I didn't see action plan. So I will not say criticize him or I will bless him. So he needs to show us what he has in his mind, what he has as a plan, what is he's thinking about Egypt in 2020, in 2050. If he doesn't have this vision, it's better for him not to go.
Yes, Dr. Hussein, Shereba, what about the other possible candidates and the potential candidates, including Field Marshal Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the current Minister of Defense? How would you see the factors that are delaying his announcement of running for presidency?
Well, I wouldn't like to talk about Field Marshal Abdel Fattah al-Sisi,
Yes.
anything, because he didn't participate. And he is not postponing, he is choosing the time. This is number one. And a man in his category, a man who is running the best organization in Egypt,
Yes.
in a perfect way, saved Egypt from lots of headaches and dangers. I wouldn't say he is delaying. He is taking the actual time, the good time to start with, and beside this, go to the minor streets, to anyone on the road and ask about him. He will say, yes, we do like him and we love him, and if he is going to participate, we will be with him. So he made lots of credibility to the whole people of Egypt, and the people of Egypt are waiting for his action plan and showing the Egyptian what he plans for Egypt in the future.
Yes.
And this is for Sisi, and I would like to have more candidates going and running the election with Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, because Sisi is one man and we would like to see 4 or 5.
Yes.
Well, what do you think, Dr. Hussein, in your opinion, are the major challenges